Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making some mixed media tags and I'm starting with the background, and today I'm using Distress Inks and Oxides to create that. I'm working on a craft mat because these inks work better on a craft mat than on a glass plate, and I just picked out some bluish and a little bit of green colors and do this squishing technique with the ink pads. I'm mixing between Distress Inks and Oxides because it gives you more dimension and a different look. The inks are more vibrant and more colorful, and the oxides are more textured and more muted and give that interesting oxidized effect. I'm going to create more tags than the ones I will use, just to have some ready to go for future projects. The paper I'm using is mixed media paper from Canson, and I cut the tags with a die. It's my favorite die. It's from STAMPlorations, which is a company in the US. I really enjoy this technique. It's very easy and you don't have to think too much about it. Just do it and see what happens, and you will see you will get nice and beautiful backgrounds. I also don't think about heating everything in between because I'm using only cool colors and I don't mind if they are mixing. What I also like about the oxides is that you can layer them on top of the Distress inks and they are a little bit more opaque. If you use Distress ink on top of something else, it will blend completely, and the oxides sit a little bit more on top, and that gives more dimension on the background. I often get asked what I'm doing with my tags, and I like to use them especially for Happy Mail. When I send out stamps to my design team, then I usually add a tag or an artist trading card, and I also like to adhere them to the burlap pages in the Dino Weekly Media Journal because I don't like these pages very much, and it's a good way to keep beautiful tags. And of course, sometimes I use them to decorate a gift. It's also a great way to explore new techniques or to explore new art supplies, and also maybe to make a collection of different techniques you want to try out, maybe on bigger projects, and then you can just note the steps you've done on the background, and you have always a reference where you can look at. They also can be very inspiring when you have a look at them in the future. I recently pulled out some of my older tags that I haven't used so far, and I got really nice ideas how to use my newer products or new stamps with the same technique. I try to leave some white on the backgrounds to have this big variation in tones that makes a project more interesting instead of covering up everything with blue. But if you have a completely covered background, you can always come on top with white splatters later. I picked out some gelli printed scraps and some stamps, and I also prepared some main images that I will probably use. And now I'm just starting arranging everything to the tags and sticking it down. I'm using my sewing borders to add some accents to the pieces I will add to the tags. I kept this video in real time because I think you maybe want to craft along with me, and then it's easier, of course, and you don't have to pause the video all the time. If it's too slow for you, you can always use that little gear on the video screen and just speed the video up. As always, I have made a blog post for these tags where I have some close-up images and photos posted, and I will link this up in the video description. I also add some stamping to the background just to create some texture. I really enjoy this playful way of putting together those tags, and I like that I have a way to use up all these gelli printed scraps. If you're interested on how I've made my gelli prints, I will link up the playlist of all my gelli plate related videos at the end of this video. Also in the video description you will find a list of all the stamps that I've used today, and I can't remember which Distress Inks and Oxides I have been using, but it's not that important. I used blue tones and a little bit of green, and it's not that important which color exactly it was. I just stamped a circle from the pencil marks. I've used the same circle on the previous tag and I really like that, and I just want to have it also on the others. By the way, the glue stick I'm using is from Tombow. I have no idea if there is another brand that has such a good glue stick, because all the others I know are the white or colored ones from Yoo-hoo or from Prit, and they always I think they often lose a lot of the glue on the paper, and then you have these thick areas under your papers, and it also buckles often, and that's what I like about this Tombow glue stick. It's so thin, it makes such a thin layer, and you don't get any wrinkles, and it also holds the paper very strong. And if you leave it open, you will be able to just tear off the upper skin that it gets, and then it will work again, so it doesn't dry out completely. Sometimes when I'm not sure how to arrange something, I always look through my camera, and that gives me a different view, and it makes it easier to decide what looks good and what doesn't. I'm adding some splatters to all of the tags. I use black acrylic ink and also some white. To finish up my tags, I am creating some sentiments using the Mix the Sentiments stamp sets, and here I just stamp them with versamark ink to black cardstock. It's a thinner quality, and then I will emboss it in white, and then I just search for the right words. Now I have heat set my paper, and I will just cut these pieces apart so that they are a little bit smaller and easier to use. And I usually have a bowl with all my sentiments inside, and there I search for the ones I want to use on my projects. And you can always use leftover words for collaging on a background. That gives a really interesting look. For today, I will just search for all the black and white ones I have, and then I will build the sentiments and adhere them to the tags. And here are the finished tags. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you a wonderful Easter weekend. Bye!